Yes, welcome back. It's been a long weekend, everybody. I appreciate y'all joining me. I'm sending out a text real quick to the Wizard. Let him get back on his, a little bit of, zip. You hearing that in your ear?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what we got going on. Maybe it's my phone. Yeah, it's my phone. Keep that. Oh no, I'm still hearing it. Well, I hope y'all can't hear it, so it'll be. That kind of took it away a little bit. Anyway, getting back into the show, a little bit of technical difficulty over here. Producer James is in the building. How you doing, man? How was your weekend?
Good.
What'd you do? What anything extravagant?
I worked.
Just work.
I worked and I worked.
Yeah, shout out to Lion Pride Sports Broadcasting. They're going to be having their football kickoff show from Kreitz Market this weekend on Saturday, the 7th of August. It is August already, right? It's the 2nd of August.
Yep.
Pretty crazy. This year has flown by a little bit more, but yeah, go check out Lion Pride Sports Broadcast. They're going to be having their kickoff show from Kreitz. Their title sponsor is Recon Athlete. I think Kreitz Market is also sponsoring this event this coming Saturday. So shout out to everybody over at Kreitz for helping this production get underway. I believe he's going to have Tom Dunn and Coach Amato, who's now retired. So shout out for all his service, dude. I think he coached like 40 years. That's nuts. It's like longer than I've been alive. Damn. And he was our coach in junior high. But shout out to Coach Amato and everybody over there at Lion Pride. Appreciate what y'all are doing for the young people out there. I believe they're going to have some other players in studio or at the site for the live remote. And hopefully that'll kind of help out everybody as we move forward. Hold on real quick. I think that may have helped out a little bit with that mute. I don't know what it is. It's Monday. The board is having the Mondays, so it is what it is. We'll just play with it while it's in our ears. It's not a big deal. Probably is not coming through, so not to worry. But Buffalo Bills putting leverage to move to Austin. What do you think about that, man? Is that I think it's a bunch of hogwash personally, but would be pretty interesting. But it would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
To have the Buffalo Bills. I just don't know where the hell they build that stadium if they did it.
Jeez.
Anywhere, right? I mean, it's not going to be in the city, but it's not going to be Zilker. It's not going to be West. It's going to be probably where outside of probably the toll road of 130, or it could be Northwest, maybe like Georgetown area. I could see it something like out there.
Me and my buddies were just. I mean, normally when this happens, they just keep the same name, right? Like it would be like the Austin Bills. You think?
Maybe the Texas Bills. I could see something like that.
Yeah, we're just coming up with names.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys were originally their mascot was like a buffalo. I forgot they were called the Dallas Texans. This was kind of how Houston kind of got their name. But yeah, they were like they were the Dallas Texans, and then they moved to Kansas City and became the Chiefs. And so with that being there. When Houston in 2001, when they were kind of going through their selection process for their mascot, they were trying to figure out what they were going to be called, and people were like, fans, do y'all want to, give a suggestion on what they're called? There was a contest. I think there was even a contest for like drawing the logo, and I think the team bought all of that information, but I think they went with the Texans because Dallas was previously held that name. But for the Bills to come to Austin, potentially, allegedly, I think would be fun. That Q2 arena there, which is in Austin, off of Burnett and 183 by the Domain, I hear is a phenomenal facility. But I could see maybe a team playing there while their stadium is being built. But a soccer field and an NFL field are two totally different things. Would it work for the interim? Sure, 100%. But I think Buffalo or the Bills, I think that's probably how we should address them, right? The Bills would definitely be fun. And that squad is sick.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, too. Like, they have a great quarterback, a great receiver, a great group of running backs, and their defense is pretty fun. But this is just a move by the ownership. And the reason I think this is a whole bunch of hogwash is Jerry's not going to let this happen. Jerry's not going to let a third team come into Texas and take up potentially a quarter of his fans and turn them into Bills fans. He's just not going to happen. He's got too much clout for that. But if it did happen, if whatever the NFL wants to happen, holistically, I think that's what will happen. But we got to remember, Goodell is like on his way out. We're going to fix and have a new commissioner in the next 2 years. So maybe, I don't know. For me, I think it's just a bunch of nothing. But is it fun to talk about? Hell yeah. It's going to be fun to talk about until the deal is done for the Bills in Buffalo, if that's where they want to get done. But where are they going to get the money from? That's the thing, is like, if everybody in Buffalo says, we'll pay, it'll be easy. But if I know people in very powerful positions who want a certain outcome, they'll make the certain moves to get that done before anybody has an opportunity to object. And even if you do have the opportunity to object, they'll have already made the decisions with the right individuals before allowing you the information to object. That's kind of the dirty side of doing the business part. Just like locally when they had this, like for us, they had that dump that's coming in. The deal was like already done before everybody got to like pull signatures together and object. So that's just the dirty side of the business part, which if you got a bunch of money invested, you got a bunch of stockholders who invested too, and they want this deal done for monetary reasons, which that's why people do business. Yeah, they're going to make sure their outcome is what comes to fruition. So I think it's going to be a new stadium for the Bills. Whether or not the citizens of Buffalo or New York want to pay for it or not is really not going to be left up to them if they want to stay there. But Austin wants them. I mean, like a lot of people in Austin want them to come in. I've been on Twitter all day long just because of other news that's been breaking today that's breaking the world, the Twitterverse, as I refer to it. But everybody in Austin who's a football person, a sports person, they're like, yes, please, we will take you. And they'll pay for it too. They'll figure out a way to get $2-3 billion to build a brand new stadium, without a doubt. But do you think that would be like fun? Do you think how is a citizen of the greater Austin area, how does that feel to you? Like all of the implications from what it's going to cost to maybe buy concert tickets, because there may be a tax built into that for a stadium. What about traffic? What about congestion? What about going out and about? Those types of things. What does that like do for you as a consumer in this area?
Yeah, first thing that comes to mind is the traffic, of course. I was like, ooh, where are you going to put that, man? It's going to be a shitload of traffic on Sundays and whatnot. But to go up the road 30, 45 minutes to go to an NFL game, I'm with it. Because now we got to travel to Dallas or, 3 hours away to Houston.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it'd be fun.
Do you think it would still be, I mean, I guess you could still call them like the Texas Bills if maybe they were built, maybe like what if they would build it more in southwest Austin, maybe like where the Dripping Springs, in between Dripping Springs and Austin, off of 71. There's a lot of land out there. It's undeveloped. You could buy a whole lot of it. I mean, we have a whole lot of land out here where we are. And I believe Elon Musk just bought like a lot of land for whatever reason. And so we have a lot of land available too where we are. That would be pretty fun if we had a stadium like 10 minutes away from us on the toll road. And it's definitely going to be built off of the toll road to make things extremely convenient. If you're coming from San Antonio, that's a toll road. If you're coming from Houston, you're going to drive up the toll road and then go 183 north. And so there would be a lot of convenience if that were to be the case. Even if you're coming west, like if you're coming from Marble Falls, Lakeway, Bee Caves, or if you're coming from even further out, if you're coming from maybe Johnson City, all those small towns in between Fredericksburg, I think it would really be fun if they had that convenience as well. But I think Austin is building for the future. We have all these new toll roads that have already been established and being completed that we were pretty upset with 2 and 3 years ago. And the city is now being built for those who have the means to take the toll road. And if you have that ability and that infrastructure already being prepared now, it just makes it more attractive to bring in all these new businesses. And it probably makes a whole lot of sense why, Tesla came in, Amazon is coming in, all these, tech firms are coming in, basically moving from California to Austin as, the new Silicon hub, so to speak, as it was termed in the 90s. So it's good for, I think now, what are the repercussions down the line are yet to be seen, which, I think it's just going to be what it's going to turn into, what those cities turned into in California. But get a soccer team 1 year, maybe a NFL franchise 2 years after that would be humongous. But again, I think it's all for naught. I think it's just it's a leverage play by the Buffalo Bills ownership group, but people love Austin, and it's a destination city, so I don't think anything is out of the ordinary, but that's just my take right now. Now, if things progress later, that may be something that maybe we'll entertain a little bit more, but as for now, fun story. I'd say fun story.
Yeah, for sure.
25 minutes after the hour, we're going to get into a UFC a little bit later, probably after the break. I don't know if we want to talk about everything that's kind of going on. I think the hot news right now is, or something that just broke. We'll probably maybe get into after the UFC talk, but Clemson and Florida State have entered the conversation about joining the SEC after the University of Texas and Oklahoma have officially been invited and have accepted their invitations to join the SEC. My prognostication now moving forward, and we'll talk more in depth about this probably in our third segment, but I think Ohio State and Michigan are going to be next. If Clemson and Florida State get in, it's going to be those two out of the Big Ten, which would be 20 teams. Because there's now that Texas and OU are in, there's 16.
Damn.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna take a break real quick. Producer James, before we do that, let them know what they can do, if they're going to work, if they're at work, how they're gonna maybe just eat some time. How would they do that?
Yeah, so what you're going to do is you're going to open up your little Spotify app on your Android or iOS device, and you're going to search Paul Rodriguez Show, and you're going to hit that follow button and turn on notifications so you can, check us out daily.
Welcome back, everybody. I asked James a question. He was refusing to answer it. So if y'all are watching the show, put in the comments, James, answer Paul's question. I would love to know the answer. I mean, I told him my answer. I just don't know if he's he's blushing a little bit, so I don't know. How are you? How would you be blushing? You're a little red, a little flushed.
Am I?
On your right cheek is a little pink.
Man, I've had a long day, dude. I'm worn out. In the words of someone I know, I'm fucking tired.
Okay, you have every right to be. You work in very difficult conditions, especially in the state of Texas when it's, probably inside where you are. It's probably like 120, 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's. God bless you.
Yeah. So tomorrow's my day off though.
Right.
And tomorrow Apex Legends Season 10 is coming out.
Nerd alert.
So I'll be live on Twitch. If anyone wants to come check it out.
Go check out James on Twitch. What time are you talking? What time are you talking about?
1:00.
Okay.
Sharp.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we do real sharp over here. In this Studio 44, yeah, we're real sharp. But it don't matter. We ain't got no contractual obligations. Yep. But I'm just saying, if a radio station out there wants to cut a check, wants to talk some business, hit us up in the DM. Just saying. Yep. Just saying whatever. Saying. What email is attached to that Spotify account?
What do you mean?
Like, if anybody reached out on Spotify, what email would they be sending an email to?
Probably yours.
I know, but what is? I have like 8. That's why I'm asking you. Which one?
I would have to look it up.
Okay, it's not the Paul Abel Rodriguez at.
You have 8 emails,
dude. I have 8 emails. Like, I'll show you. I'll show you my. I joined the Dynasty League. I had to make an email for the Dynasty League.
Like Exclusively for that?
Yeah, it's like it's. I had to create a. I don't know if I should be saying this. Google's going to get pissed off. I had to make a Google profile with me and my co-owner's name, and then I made the email our team name, which is Nar Seekers, like gnarly, like that's
okay.
Gnarly, bro, like that. Yeah, Nar Seekers. And so like I literally made a custom email for that account. Let me see, I'm trying to pull it up real quick. Yeah, so here it is right here. This is the Nar Seekers email. And then you go into my Google accounts and there's like 8. Yeah, I'm not bullshitting here. People are gonna be like, "Oh, that's his email?" Yeah, well, these emails go to one hub. So that's kind of how I get to manage all of them. You gotta get that pop set up, make sure it's done correctly.
You got those KD throwaway accounts?
No, these are emails. Maybe they're not profiles. They're not like social media profiles. But I do have like 3 Facebooks because my personal, like you have to have a personal, and then of course Recon Athlete, and then the Paul Rodriguez Show.
Yeah, you have your personal, and then you branch off of those. You
got little
roots.
You got little.
You can't block me.
You can't block me. I don't really give a shit. I'm just gonna say, but UFC 265. Derek the Black Beast Lewis versus Cyril Gahn. Cyril Gahn, man, I don't know. I did see what UFC put out Sunday in regards to the show coming up, and they did do a good profile on Cyril Gahn while he was in France and while he was is it Taekwondo or was it kickboxing?
His background?
No, it wasn't kickboxing. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, he was in the sport before he got to the UFC, and like his first promotion for mixed martial arts, he like won the title. They gave him like an instant title shot, and he beat the dude, like ugly, like he basically kneed him in the face, and then did like 4 while he's crouched down on the ground. And he's just like nailing him in the face. And I was like, this is a good promo. And of course, he got into the UFC, he's never lost. But in his professional career, before he got to the mixed martial arts, he was undefeated too. So he's never lost a fight as a professional in any sport that he's competed in.
Yeah, it says here he was a Muay Thai.
Okay, Muay Thai.
Muay Thai.
Okay. Almost kickboxing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So he's undefeated overall in everything, and it's like, but dude, it's Derek Lewis though, this isn't the same old Derek Lewis. You know, you got to respect the Popeyes. You know what I'm saying? Can't be DCing it over here. And I think I think Derek's been off the Popeyes for a little while because, you know, I saw him getting out of his Fred Ferrari looking slim, looking fit. I'm like, all right, Derek, I see you.
He's got a Ferrari,
bro.
I'm just asking.
You don't follow him?
Yeah, I do.
Well, okay. You don't see his stories? He gets pulled every time he takes his Ferrari out. He gets pulled over. It's Houston. I get it. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, right?
For sure.
I mean, just saying. I mean, we understand.
Yeah.
For those who know, you know. So yeah, every time he takes his Ferrari out, he gets pulled over. And this time, I think he wanted to flex a little bit. So in this UFC piece, they had him like get out of his Ferrari while he's like walking in the gym and this and that. And I think they want to show him. I think they want to frame him rather. The UFC wants to frame him as a champion. This is what a champion drives, right? In the UFC, you know, because Connor's over here coming out of Bentleys and
yachts.
Yeah, total nonsense. And then Khabib, I don't know. Khabib is pretty much, well, he gets out of G-Wagons, the 4x4s. He gets out of those. That's very Russian, very Dagestan. Not really Dagestan, but just want to throw it in there. I like that name, Dagestan. It's like, dude, you know, killers just come from this region. Like, where you from? Dagestan. All right, I'm cool, man. Dap you up and get on.
Holler at you.
Peace. It's like that. It's like that meme where the kid like chunks the deuce and then disappears. That's what you do when you meet someone from Dagestan. And then you can have me disappear. Maybe we can do that later. So yeah, that's the other thing. And of course, the Amanda Nunes, Jennifer Pena. Juliana Pena was, of course, postponed due to COVID. So, you know, thoughts and prayers out there to those who are impacted by that and who are suffering. So I don't know. We're probably not going to know, but I don't know how significant the illness has affected Amanda Nunes, because she was the one who was reported to have contacted or contracted COVID. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thoughts and prayers out to her. And she has a new baby too. So, you know, we'll make sure the baby's okay too. Don't want anything bad to happen to the baby. But yeah, that'll probably be moved to the 266 card, which will be fun. That'll be, Valentina will be on that one. I'll be watching. Shevchenko, man, she's a bad woman, dude. Notice how I just say girl. She's a bad woman. She ain't no joke, Jack.
Yeah.
She ain't no joke at all. Feel sorry for the women who fight these champions.
That's the Nick Diaz card also.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna pop.
Stacked.
Big time.
Even if they add Nunes to that card, man,
is that the main event, Diaz and Lawler?
No, the main event is Volkanovski and the other guy they've been doing the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, yeah.
Or is it Volkov?
It's Volkov and I want to say for Hernandez, but I don't think that's right.
Oh, Ortega,
yeah, there we go.
T-City.
Dude, when I first saw him, I'm like, what is that dude? And he's like, he's Mexican. And I'm like, that dude don't look Mexican.
You see, they made Gaethje versus
I was hoping you were gonna bring that up.
Yeah, Michael Chandler.
Yeah,
I got Chandler.
I think that's a great matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
You think you got Chandler?
I got Chandler.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a little on the fence. I mean, because Gaethje, I've seen Gaethje fight. I've seen fight, you know, really great competition, but at 55, there's got to be a number one contender. What's Gaethje ranked? Do you know?
He's got to be like
1 or 2.
He might be 3.
Okay, yeah,
he's definitely top 5. Yeah, definitely
5.
top 5. Top 5.
So that card is so stacked.
I don't think that one's on the.
I thought you said that was.
They have that one. No, they didn't add that one to the 266.
Oh, it's like
that one's gonna be in November. I don't think they have an official. Yeah, they don't have an official card for it yet.
But still, that card is still stacked. I mean, you got Volkov, sure. Ortega, you got Lawler Diaz Lawler, and then you got Shevchenko and whoever the woman she's gonna beat.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
Volkanovski.
Okay,
yeah.
Volkanovski. Because when you said Volkov, I was thinking about the heavyweight.
Yeah, that's the heavyweight. Alexander Volkov. Or, yeah. I don't know, man. These guys.
Donald Trump said, I need to rock this Russian out. And then my balls was hot. That's what Derek Lewis said. USA in this hoe. Hey, speaking of USA, shout out to the U.S. men's national team winning the CONCACAF Gold Cup last night, beating El Tri, the Mexicans. They were in Vegas at the Allegiant Stadium, which was pretty fun. So shout out to USA getting both the CONCACAF championships this year. Very impressive. The reason it being impressive was that this is pretty much our B team, who went out there and went toe to toe with the greatest rival the United States has had in soccer. I mean, this is a pretty significant. I mean, Alexi Lawless, he's a very well-known soccer player for the Americans who's retired. He was real big in the 90s. Do you know that name? Or
no.
Yeah, so he's a redheaded guy who is he would be Wayne Gretzky to hockey. He is to soccer.
Yeah.
Okay, and so Alexi Lawless was like, dude, he pulled a Kirk Herbstreit. He started crying on national TV and like ugly cry. And I'm like, dude, what do you? But I understand why he was crying because this team was not supposed to win. They weren't even supposed to beat Qatar in the semis, and they did. And then they win this championship, and everybody was thinking oh well, we'll probably, if we beat Qatar, we'll lose to Mexico. And then some people were saying, well, maybe we can win. And then they pulled out. They'd had to go to extra time, which means it went to overtime. But they got it done. And, dude, there were so many chances. There were 40, 50 chances to score. And people were like, if this is the goal, there were literally people 2 yards from the goal, and they would kick it over it because there's just so much action going on. But they finally got one. And I was like, when I saw it, I was like, go. If you check out my Instagram, my personal Instagram, PRod_ReconAth, you can.
1 out of 8.
That's 1 out of 3. So anything social media, I got 3 of them, except Twitter. I only have 2. But, dude, I put out a story. I was like, go. I was like, USA. And then I showed them when they lifted the trophy, whenever that's a big ceremonious thing they do. And it was fun, man. It's fun when your country wins the championship because I have a lot of national pride, and so it just makes you feel good. It's just something special. It's like if somebody wins your favorite team wins a championship. Like if the Packers won the Super Bowl, you're gonna be super excited for them because you feel as a fan invested in that team. And the same thing with the soccer team because dude, 4 years ago we didn't qualify for the World Cup. It didn't happen, and it was embarrassing, really embarrassing because as America you're supposed to be you should be there. You shouldn't be winning, but you should be there. And now that we've won the CONCACAF Cup, we won the Gold Cup. We're feeling pretty good, and doing it with our backups. Not bad. Well, the Gold Cup was with our backups. The CONCACAF was with the starters. So pretty impressive nonetheless. And, dude, the youngest guy on the team, there was 3 starters were 19, 20, and 20. 3 positions. Young guys, super young. So that's another thing that bodes well for us in the future. Hopefully we'll continue these trends. And, of course, we do have Pulisic, which is our best player. He was actually playing for Chelsea, who won the European Championship. First American to ever win a European Championship. Be a part of the team.
Nice.
So that's big milestones have been occurring. What was cool was when they won the championship and after everybody was celebrating, he put on a USA hoodie with the USC on the chest. And I was like, dude, that's cool, man. That's a flex. And then all the interviews he didn't wear the Chelsea. He had the Chelsea stuff underneath, but when he was doing the interviews, it was all US, US team, US soccer, basically.
Nice.
Yeah, their coach had a badass shirt, dude. He had a black shirt. Nike's their official sponsor, and it was the crest for US men's soccer, and on the back it said United States Soccer, and then the Nike symbol underneath. I was like, man, I wish they made that in my size because I would definitely buy that shirt. It was really fun.
Dude, we were watching. We went to go out to eat on Friday, and we were watching. I think it was women's rugby, bro.
Women's rugby. Don't let BJ and our fan. Don't let BJ hear you talk about rugby. He coached rugby in college.
Really?
Yeah. So what was up with this rugby?
No, it was just like
Intense, right?
I was like, wow. I told my girl, I was like, would you get out there?
It's almost like a roller derby. You know, women's roller derby? Like they get that kind of aggressive?
Yeah, these chicks, dude.
Crazy, right?
Crazy.
Did you hear about there's a women's football league, and the team in Boston needed a plane to go to basically their Super Bowl, and they had no way of not a lot of funding for these women's football leagues, and so Robert Kraft reached out. He was doing a Zoom call, and I think their team captain and their head coach was on the call. And he broke the news. He said, ladies, I've decided to donate my plane to fly y'all to y'all's championship game. But the only way you can come back is if you win the championship. And I think he was joking. They were like, no, we're going to win. They're like the best team in that league. I don't know what the league is, but there's a women's football team out of Boston. And they did, man. They like ran away with the whole championship. And they were able to come back. So, old Robert Kraft trying to do a little positive PR after his escapades, but
good for him.
Cool for him to give back and play a little politics in the PR game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. Before we go on break, I don't know if you wanted to touch on. I forgot her name. She won the fight. I think it was Fight of the Night.
Buys.
Is that her name?
It's BUYS.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that
the Princess Warrior.
Yeah. So that her winning and her post-fight speech.
Dude, they kept dumping the audio. I was pissed.
Yeah, they did. It started a big discussion about UFC fighter pay.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Like women's fighter pay or
just fighter pay in general?
Yeah, because she's from Dallas.
Yeah.
And what I could make out was that she was basically saying that she decided to move to Vegas and that she had to get a loan out because she was so broke just to move, and that this champion, and she should have got Fight of the Night or Knockout of the Night. Hopefully she got both.
I think she got Fight of the Night.
That's $50,000, right?
$50,000.
Yeah. So whatever she made, and then plus the 50, she probably made like 25 to show, and then 50 bonus. So she made her whole year's salary in one night. Great for her.
Yeah, she was saying that she was like, my show and win, I think, is already gone. She was like, because of this loan that I got, I moved out here. Mm-hmm. She basically was saying she gave up everything. And
yeah, but her boyfriend, I'm sure she lives with her boyfriend.
Yeah. But what she said was, she was like, I'm so broke. She's like, I'm negative in my account right now. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I've been so broke my whole life because of the sport. But she's like, it's finally paying off. And, it's just like, it was pretty emotional and stuff like that. But I mean,
I'm sure it's a great story, but I understand how people can be a little bit upset with Dana on it. I get it.
Yeah, because what they were saying is like, when you make it to the NFL, boom, you made it to the NFL, right?
Well, now it's college.
Yeah. Okay. When you make it to the UFC, it's not like that.
No.
You know what I mean?
Not even. I believe knowing a friend who did fight professionally MMA just to begin his career. You're fighting in clubs. You're fighting in almost abandoned warehouses. They've just been converted, and now they're legitimate. But 100%, you understand the fact that the elite fighters, it's almost as if you're a contractor, which essentially you are, but your contract is like what you draw for that event.
Yeah, true.
It's not like in the NFL where you have a contract that you're guaranteed pay, and then what your supplementals will be, basically your incentives. But for the NBA, it's like the NBA is fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
So whatever you sign, Chris Paul today, 4 years, $120 million. Okay, he's getting $120 million if he decides to retire tomorrow. Done deal, right? But for the NFL, it's a little bit different. For hockey, for baseball, I think baseball is fully guaranteed too. But for the UFC, like that Chris Moutinho, he got paid what, 18 grand to show up, and he and got blessed with literally eating Sean O'Malley's feet and punches to the face all night long for another 75 grand. And he said the same thing. Like, he basically quit his job painting and then went to go live basically day by day in the gym, and luckily got a call to go fight Sean O'Malley and made a name for himself.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about the removal. Apparently, they had a removal of independent sponsorship. But here's a little chart that was floating around. Like, I kept seeing it from time and time again. I started glancing at it. But according to this chart, the percent of revenue paid to their athletes by each league or organization, and you have the MLB at the top with 54%.
Which I don't understand how.
Yeah,
I do, but I don't. It's complicated.
Yeah, I don't know how this is calculated, but you know, they got the UFC at the bottom with 60%. Bellator
Negative 16%.
No, it's just like all of them have this. It's just in red, just to make it look
I thought
like
I thought it meant it was negative.
Yeah, you see, they made it work on you. You see, yeah, that's what it's meant to do. And I took it as that when I first saw this too. But so UFC 16%, Bellator at 44.7%, NFL at 48%, NBA 50%, and of course MLB at 54%. I don't know, man. I like when they put it into terms like, oh, when you made it to the NFL or to the NBA, you know, boom, mama, I made it. But when the UFC, it's not like that.
My only caution, my only pause for concern is, what is the revenue that they're splitting? Like, what is the nut of the 54%? Like, what is the total revenue that baseball is bringing in that they're splitting by 54%? Like, for the NFL brings in the most money. So, like, that 48% could be more than the 54%. Do you follow what I'm saying? And so my question would be, I would love to know the number of the total revenue generated by each sport. Then we could really look at those percentages, because that 16% could be whatever Dana is bringing in. It could be more. It just depends. Like, if you're working with, let's just use millions of dollars. If you're doing $1 million and you're doing 16%, that's $160,000. Okay, I get it. But if you're doing 3 million, if you're doing 14 million, it's going to be like so much more money because you're dealing with more like revenue. And so that's why I'm just kind of curious, like, what is the amount of money? How much of that percentage being split between how many players? Like, there's only 53-man roster in the NFL. The NBA, there's only like 12 guys per team. The MLB, there's probably like 25 guys per team. But in the UFC, like, how many fighters are there? So there's a lot of different variables that you kind of take into consideration. I'm not a super math guy, but I am like a money guy. I'm like, okay, how much money is being split between these people, and how much is the percentage, and how much is the revenue? Like, I want to look at, like, let's see the books, but that ain't gonna happen. Yeah,
I guess, up and coming fighters, it's hard because
they're getting paid. Yeah. And think about this. If you're a fighter and you're the first fight on the prelims, what are you making? $2,500?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you have to pay your training. You have to pay your coaches.
Food?
Yeah, your food.
Food's not cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then the medical, like, what happens if you don't? Yeah. What happens if you get hurt in your gym? Like, what do you do?
For sure. And it's driven, like you said before, and we've said time and time again on the show that, what are you bringing into the company?
Right.
That's what your salaries. I thought when Conor came into the UFC, I thought he had a golden road paved out for him. All you got to, hey man, we got you set up. All you got to do is win, right?
Right.
To where there's guys like Khabib, how he's like, he went, retired 29, or was it 29 and 0?
Young.
I think it was 29.
Yeah, undefeated.
Yeah, and so it's like, we have a guy here who's undefeated. If they were like, here man, all you got to do is win. Well, you've been winning for so long. There's the argument about he didn't fight. Definitely towards whenever he got on everyone's radar is when he started fighting top tier competition, because he's beat a who's who in the lightweight division. But there's fighters that are just like, I feel like Cowboy Cerrone was one of them. And then once he secured the McGregor, he was like, all right, cool,
set for life.
Yeah, and at the same time, I feel like that's like McGregor being like, you know what, you know, and the same that he did for Nate, you know, like I love Nate, you know, and now, you know, that was a big fight, and they still got another money fight.
There'll be another one.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just a fight game, man.
But I think that the other half of the coin is I think a lot of these fighters should take a note from Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley has multiple irons in the fire. He streams, he does endorsements, he does vitamin endorsements, the stuff that he knows and that maybe these fighters aren't really aware of. Maybe they're not, you know, maybe they're not creative enough to maybe think about that. And it's like, maybe you need to supplement. Like, it's like they say, millionaires have 7 streams of income. And it's what are your other streams of income besides the UFC money that you're making as far as your earned income, right? And so it's like, what are you good at? What can I mean, you're telling me that, and Buys is a pretty woman.
Yeah.
She's not ugly.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a pretty girl. Your Instagram should be chock full of affiliate marketing products. Like, you should be selling the fit tees, the waist you should be selling all that shit. Because if you're that broke, and it's not her fault. All I'm just saying is, like, without the knowledge, for anybody, for any human, without the knowledge, you're not probably going to get it done. But now, probably, it's like, hey, you got that big check. It's like, okay, now you need to put a little away, put some here, take care, treat yourself, right? Treat yourself, and then start making moves to, like, make this money grow for you. Build your network. You know, after that big win, you should be like, hey, like, I need to be on a pay-per-view card. And then on that pay-per-view card, start reaching out to people. Use your network. Ask Dana, like, hey, Dana, what kind of opportunities are there for endorsements? Like, do you know of anybody? Can you help me out? Like, I want to represent the UFC in that division. Like, use those connections. You're telling me those people can't go talk to Dana? Bullshit. They can call Dana anytime they want. And for her to be that aggressive, Dana's going to be like, hell yeah, we're going to help this lady out. Let's, like, put her in a big fight where somebody's going to get knocked the fuck out. Because that makes Dana a lot of money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, as she said, anytime, anywhere, they know her, they got her phone number, call her. Yeah,
and then, you know, of course, like I said, you know, you just got to win. You got to keep winning. And so if they do that and she wins, you know,
like skyrocket. Just like O'Malley, skyrocket.
That's just, it's a fight game, man. That's what it is, you know.
And even if you take an L, if you're controversial and polarizing, Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, Nick Diaz, Khabib, anybody who
Moutinho,
yeah, MAGA hack dude,
Colby
Covington,
who's fighting Kamaru Usman by the end of this year.
Look, have you been to Covington's Instagram? Yeah. All he does is troll Usman and sell Bang energy drinks.
Bang Bros.
I mean, he has 2 girls in bikinis every time. Yeah. Hey, and props to Covington. He brings on the whole spectrum of ladies on there. It ain't just one type of lady. It's all types.
I like Colby Covington.
Yeah. And so I'm just saying, get out there. If you're fighting on national television, you need to be selling products. I'm just saying. And we would love here at the Paul Rodriguez Show to sell your products. So if you want to get at us, hit us up in the DMs, leave us a comment, send us an email. We do have one. We have on Recon. There's this one product, and I don't like the product, but I'm like, maybe we'll like your product. I'm just saying, watches are fun, but I don't wear any watches. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why am I going to promote something I don't use? Makes sense?
Yeah. People can see through that.
Yeah. It's like, dude, you fugazi, bro. Yeah. Fugazi.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Let's get into a break. Before we go to a break, hey, man, if y'all are enjoying the show, just give us a like, subscribe. Why do I look a little dark? Do I look dark today? Not dark as in complexion, but the
lighting
display, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know. Do I? Or am I just seeing things?
Yeah, I thought you did, but I mean, I did my normal work pre-show.
Maybe it's just me. I told you, dude, we had this storm blow in, and my eyes are just like scratchy. I'm being stubborn. I'm being, you know, that thing. I don't want to say it because maybe it's an offensive word. I don't know. I'm being mental is what it is. And it's like, dude, you need to go take a Zyrtec D. Just take it. And so
I thought you were gonna say relief. I thought you were gonna say a vaccine.
A vaccine? A variant?
Nah.
Oh, I don't know.
No, because you said I'm being mental. I thought you were gonna say I just need to go take a vaccine.
Oh no. It's what, dude. Every time these storms come in, it's like what are y'all bringing into my area that I'm going to like get irritated with? And it's my eyes. It's always my eyes. Anyways, quick 6-minute break. We'll be back. Finish the show. Yeah, we're going to talk about USC Clemson and or SEC Clemson and Florida State. We're back. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show coming out of Studio 44. Let's get the night wrapped up real quick. News coming out of today, Pro Football Focus reporting that the Clemson Tigers and Florida State Seminoles have reached out to the SEC to potentially join leave the ACC and join the SEC. So the mega conferences are coming. I think this was inevitable. A lot of people talked about this when the college football playoff was established a few years ago, and it's coming quickly, coupled with NIL, I believe, national name, image, likeness for the student athletes. I believe that the conference to be in is the SEC. It's going to hold Alabama, it's going to hold Georgia, Florida, Texas A&M, Texas Longhorns, as well as Oklahoma. So the winning side appears to be the SEC. I'm looking forward to other universities joining them as well. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Notre Dame joins, being an independent. They have an exclusive TV deal with NBC, so they're not worried about them as far as finding TV money. So with the SEC network having their deal with ESPN, I believe a lot of teams want the level of competition. They see the NFL athletes who have come out of the conference of the SEC, and they're continue to look to grow. But this would be essentially a near reflection of how the NFL is handling their playoffs. It would almost be to a T a super conference, mega conference. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe, 32 teams, 36 teams gets pulled into this conference, and this may be the vehicle that they use to leave the NCAA, lose that jurisdiction, just to not have any kind of – they're not providing any leadership or oversight at the time. The NCAA is not. And so I believe to have a little bit more control over TV money, a little bit more control of the outlook of where the conference is heading, it makes a whole lot of sense for, 32 teams, 36 teams, maybe 42 teams. I could see you breaking it. So you're going to need to break it up into something that's divisible by – maybe 4 or 5, something along those right. And you would basically have your Power 5 conference just come under the umbrella of the SEC. It's what it's kind of looking like at this time. And I know that the teams that have been dominant will always probably continue to be dominant. They have the mixture of their university standards, their academic standards, their coaching ability, the recruiting ability, in addition to the sheer legacy that those schools have, the Texas, the A&Ms, the LSUs, the Alabamas, the Clemsons now with Dabo Swinney, Florida State when Bobby Bowden was there, and Jimbo Fisher, currently of the Texas A&M Aggies, winning his national championship. So it almost appears that the SEC was first last year to lead the charge back for college football with COVID, and they appear to be the people who are wanting to take up the mantle of leadership for college football moving forward. Does it make sense? Maybe not now, but I think that this vehicle is going to be what reshapes the college football landscape, merely due to the fact that the leadership that wants to make decisions and is going to use the best information available to do that, to complete those decision-making skills or have that decision-making skills, is going to come out of the SEC. They're not scared. They weren't scared of COVID. They had their medical professionals tell them what was needed as bare minimum. They had their COVID standards in place for 10 days. If you contracted COVID, the SEC was able to produce a conference-only schedule and able to produce a couple of teams to go on and represent themselves in the college football playoff. And so when there's crisis, and I think there is crisis now with college football, nobody knows where to go. Nobody knows where to turn to. And when you have strong leaders, they're going to step up and take up that mantle. I think the Big Ten hurt themselves last year when they said we're not going to do college football, and it took Justin Fields and it took other leaders. It really took Justin Fields. That's who it really was. And Ohio State to say, look, we're going to play. And you're going to change the rules for us when somebody does get sick or not meet the minimum of 5 games played. We're going to tell you what to do. And so that just tells me there's a lack of leadership in the Big Ten. The Pac-12 didn't play. I think that's hurt them. The Big 12 was the last to make a decision. They eventually played, but they were last. So there's a lack of leadership there as well. And I think the writing was on the wall for Oklahoma and Texas to say, look, we need to go to a conference where we're going to play, because that's what they know this is a money-making opportunity, and they're not going to be left out in the cold. And they wanted to be in the best conference. And I think Clemson is seeing that now. Florida State is trying to build things back. I wouldn't be shocked if maybe Miami comes into the fold out of the ACC as well. So we're talking about Ohio State joining the SEC potentially, maybe Michigan, Notre Dame, Clemson, Florida State, Miami. Maybe another team out of another team is mixed in there, but the SEC is going to be so strong. A lot of other teams are going to be left out to figure out how they're going to play football, figure out how they're going to form a league and make it and monetize it, because the top dogs are not going to, the ESPNs, the Foxes. Fox has to deal with the Big 10 and the Big 12. The SEC has everything else, and ESPN is with them in that fight. So it's difficult now to see what's going to happen for the future, but the Pac-12 is rough. Oregon and USC is probably the only two teams coming out of there if they wanted to join. There's nobody else that's profitable out there. And the only other team that I see outside of the SEC that's going to be worthy outside of Clemson and the other teams that I mentioned was Miami and maybe the University of Houston. For some reason, I like Houston. I'm high on Houston, but I don't know. It just doesn't make sense for Houston to be left out, in my opinion. I think there's a big city. There's a big following. They've been productive. You know, hopefully Dana Holgerson can get things going. It's not Dana Holgerson. It's I can't think of that. Dana Holgerson's at West Virginia. I forgot the coach out the top of my head. I'll have to come back and fill that in.
Coach where?
At Houston, the Houston Cougars.
Yeah.
Yeah, just throwing a quick Google search. But I'm looking forward to see how this whole thing shapes up. But I'm looking forward to them to have Kelvin Sampson. Is that the basketball coach? I was gonna say that doesn't sound right. Yeah, it is Dana Holgerson. Okay, so I was right the first time. See, I just need to trust my gut.
Yeah.
I get a little, I'm like, was it him? Was it not? He used to be a coordinator there. Then he went to Ohio State, or not Ohio State, Oklahoma State, and then West Virginia, and then now Houston. But it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a wild, 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 wild ride in the SEC, going probably till 2025. I think in 2025, that's when all the dust is going to settle, and you'll have, I would say, if I had to say now and just take a stab, I'm thinking they're going to have 40 teams, maybe 45.
Damn.
Yeah. No, it can't be 45. It's got to be 42.
What are they at now? 20? 16?
If Clemson and Florida State joins, it'll be 20. It's officially 16. But you got to remember, like, I believe the SEC wants Texas and Oklahoma now, like 2022 season, which means they got to fork. Each school has to fork over either 76 or over 76 million. Which look, let's not think that's a lot of money for these schools. They just paid Tom Herman like 40-something million to walk away. So they have the money. Okay. They have the money. That's not a big deal. Have you seen tuition prices? Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a drop in the bucket, okay, for these guys, for these types of schools. Now, if we're talking about Texas A&M Kingsville, if we're talking about Texas State, if we're talking about Lamar, Tarleton, yeah, that's a little, they don't have that kind of money. They're also not bringing that kind of money in. So, with that being said, NIL is changing college football. And I think this is a part of it. This is a byproduct of it. And we'll have more news. News dropped today. For those who already know, they know. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. But we're having high school students leave their senior season to go play college football. And NIL is a part of it. It's a part of the reason why. You can have your feelings about it. I'm never going. I will never, ever. I should be careful. I will never believe a 18-year-old who has graduated from high school, who has met the minimum requirements outlined by the state of Texas. See how this gets more complicated? I will not judge their decision-making that they have made with their family and for their future as an 18-year-old and has met the minimum requirements outlined by their state to graduate high school. I'm not gonna second guess it. Why would I tell another man by rule of definition by the government, you're 18, if you can go serve this country, and that people will be like, oh, you're bringing in the country now? Is that what you're doing? That's what people are going to say. If they're 18 years old, they can make their own decisions. If they've already met the minimum requirements to graduate, then that's their choice. Now I get it. You want your high school to win a championship. Hey, you were there last year in that game. Y'all didn't win. Does that have to do anything? No, I don't think that has to do with why this player's leaving. But I believe that there's a lot of money on the table that's guaranteed. Other players in other sports have already made double what is being offered to this player. Currently, who is enrolled in college. Hersey. I can't think of Hersey's last name. What's Master P's last name?
Went through this last time.
Yeah,
that's it. Miller, ain't it?
It's right. It's Miller. Think about Romeo Miller, Paul. Come on, jeez. Hersey Miller, $2 million, $2 million deal. Nobody batted an eye, but because a high school player is foregoing their senior season, it's a problem now. Why is it a problem? Because you don't have all the facts. Everybody out there quick to pass that judgment. And I want to give props to this player for doing this, being the first, because I think he's in the best position to be the first player to do it. He's a 5-star kid. He's playing at a powerhouse high school. He's going to a powerhouse university, and he's been committed to that university his entire high school, his entire time during high school. He's never wavered. He's always been committed to that school. And he was formally listed as the number 1 recruit in the state before he made his decision today. He was the number 1 recruit. So what that tells me is that if the number 1 recruit at a powerhouse school going to a powerhouse university is leaving his senior season, what else does he have to prove? He's proved everything. Now, he didn't win a state title. I get it. But at the same time, he's doing this for his family's, for him and his family's financial best. Well, he said in his statement it wasn't for financial reasons, but we're not naive to the fact that why he's going there. Okay, we all know what's on the table, but he's making the decision for him and his family's best interest. Respect, because if it had been anybody else, and God forbid if it had been a kid from a different status than this player, people would be more ruthless. If this player was at a school that's not a powerhouse, if he was not the number 1 ranked player, if he was not a quarterback, if he was not going to an affluent high school, if he didn't come from an affluent family, that person, that athlete would be vilified even more than what's going on. If you're vilifying this kid, what would you do to a kid who didn't look like him, who didn't go to a school that he goes to, that didn't go to a powerhouse university that he's going to? Tell me what would happen. We all know. I can speculate all the hell I want. It's my damn show. I know what goes on Twitter. I've seen it. I lived through the last 18 months. I saw what y'all put out there on Twitter. It's a damn shame, but I think for this athlete, we'll talk about it more tomorrow, for this athlete, he is the martyr for all of what's going to be occurring in the future. And I got to give him props for it because that's the way I'm looking at it. I understand it's a bad look. I understand it's not what the fans want. I understand it's not what's traditional. But listen, when times change, people don't like change. And they're only looking at it through their scope. And I get it. I understand that argument. But it's not your child and it's not your life. So why are you complaining about it? Why are you disagreeing with it? It doesn't make sense to me. But that's the news. That's what we went over. We're going to go more in depth about this tomorrow. I'll name the athlete. I'll name the schools. Y'all are already kind of reading between the lines. I understand that. But I'm pretty passionate about this damn topic. I'm because I've seen what's gone on in the past 15 years. I've been closely monitoring high school and collegiate sports. And give Reggie his goddamn trophy back. I'm out. Let's go. Let's take it to the house.